Katie Miller, this girl thinks she's called her daddy. She's got her slippers on, but her studio is really just the embodiment of like a live, laugh, love sign from TJ Maxx.
She's such a dark cloud of negativity. And welcome back. You're listening to Hysteria, the podcast that would like to de-launch Katy Perry and Justin Trudeau.
I don't need them in my life at all.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
Justin, come on.
I don't like it. Of course, Katie was going to have a boyfriend named Justin. She just seems like someone who has a boyfriend named Justin. But there was a really funny Onion article about this that was like Orlando Bloom spotted at dinner with Angela Merkel.
Honestly, but that would be so fun.
I would support that. I would 100% support that. And yeah, I think that would be great. I would really
Frau Merkel.
I would really be
love it.
That. I love how much your former boss, President Obama, loved her. They were like buddies, and they were such an odd couple, but they were just like good pals. And
she was just like legit. You know what I mean? Like she was just a straight shooter. And I also think that she didn't like idolize him.
Yeah.
You know, she was just kind of like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, on our first trip, we like went to Germany and made her apologize again for the Holocaust.
Did she?
Yeah.
Was it convincing? Were you like, she's not saying I'm sorry if you were
of course.
offended?
No, okay. She was, but I was just like, but it's like just what every leader likes. It's like, you know.
I wasn't even alive. Or maybe she was.
But she was always a good sport.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I did like I was working at the Daily Beast in the waning days of the Obama presidency. And I did this like off the record, but it's now been on the record. You can like find that whatever, like roundtable with the president at the White House with a few days before the inauguration of President Trump the first time. And I remember, I took handwritten notes during the meeting and stuff. But one thing I remember was him kind of going off on a tangent about how like he saw a picture of Merkel after the election of Trump, and she just looked very alone and worried. And he was
I know the picture he's talking about.
Yeah, he was like haunted by it. He was like, she looked so alone and she looked so worried. And I just think that she should get together with Orlando Bloom. Like the Onion said. We have a very special Sani Petty today, by the way. Now let's get to Sani Petty. Oh, Alyssa. Media sensation.
We put work in here.
Media sensation Katie Miller, with tens and tens of listeners, of
which were 2.
Yes, we were 2. Actually, I think 4 of the 11 listeners that were listening to her live stream yesterday were people listening from the Crooked Media offices. So you're welcome, Katie. But Katie Miller has a podcast. It's bad. She's got the charisma of a yeast infection. And she had Cheryl Hines on. Cheryl Hines, of course, the actress who is married to RFK Jr. And judging
Bobby.
Bobby. And judging by the fact that she's on Katie Miller's super hit podcast, is doing great in Hollywood right now. So we listened to the whole episode. Cheryl Hines on Katie Miller and Katie Miller on Cheryl Hines. And it was quite something. We picked some favorite clips.
There were so many to choose from.
There were so many clips. One thing that I loved was how Cheryl Hines was visibly bored by the end of the interview. She could not wait to get out of there.
100%. She was like, I mean, also I've never watched an interview that had so many questions and clearly made it through every single one.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like there was like something very hard to listen to.
Mm-hmm. It was overproduced, which is something that happens when a host can't hack it, I gotta say. Anyway, there's also like they got into a tangent on oatmeal at one point, and I was like, what are they even talking about? Like,
that was so weird.
It was so weird. But we picked 3 favorite clips, right?
Yeah.
Alyssa, what's your favorite clip? Can you give us a little intro about what we're going to hear right now?
Okay. So one of the running themes through this podcast episode was Katie trying to ask Cheryl questions about Hollywood and Cheryl trying to protect her ability to ever work in Hollywood again. So this was my clip. And then there's a little kicker at the end where Katie asks her who her favorite person is in the Trump administration. And there's a funny note that Cheryl makes on this one.
Who are you most excited to never see again?
I really don't know. I don't have a good answer to that. Well, let me think about it. I'll circle back. Let me see.
Who are you closest to in the Trump administration that's surprised you?
I really like Linda McMahon, and not that surprises me, but we're different generations, but I like her. I like her daughter and her family.
So at the very beginning of that clip, Katie asks Cheryl, who's your least favorite person to work with in Hollywood? And she's finally like, let me get back to you on that one. But the Linda McMahon thing that's hilarious is like, I would never look at Linda McMahon and Cheryl Hines and be like, definitely different generations. Like, it's such a hilarious distinction, like such a point she wants to make where she's like, listen, we're like unexpected girlfriends because we're intergenerational. And it's like, Cheryl, girl, come on now.
She's like, so I Googled it, and Cheryl is...
She's got 60.
She's 60, and Linda McMahon is 77. So, like, they're sort of like babysitter, little kid that the babysitter watches after high school age difference.
Right. But, like, for example, so it's the same age difference roughly as between Caroline, our producer, and me. And I would not say Caroline and I are friends even though we're a generation apart. Like, it is just such a funny thing for her to say.
Yeah, that is a really funny thing for her to say. I also think like Katie's relentless attempts to get a media trained actress, like a working entertainment professional, to talk shit about people who could be in a position to give her work was so funny. And because Cheryl like kind of danced all over her, she was so much better at navigating those questions than Katie was at asking them or getting to them. And it was just...
Because Katie can't ask a follow-up.
No.
If it's not written down.
Let's be fair. She asked a follow-up. She asked what kind of chips when at one point...
And then there was a real flaming hot Cheeto moment.
Yeah, they talked about food a lot. I wonder if they record the show like just before dinner time or something. Speaking of dinner time, my favorite clip is a clip where Katie asks Cheryl about her husband's food habits. And this is what we learn from that exchange.
Do you ever get on Bobby's case for what he eats or doesn't eat?
I will say yes. I don't know if he wants me talking about this. I can't say it. Well, right now he is only eating meat and fermented vegetables. So what that looks like is in the morning at 6:30, he's cooking a steak and eating sauerkraut. So,
Do you love waking up to the smell of steak in the morning?
Mm-hmm. So, when I'm just trying to have my latte and that's coming at me, it's like, whoa, okay. I mention it every once in a while. I'll say something.
So what happens when you guys go out to eat? Is he like waiting to get back home to eat?
Now this is, I don't know if he wants me saying this either, but who cares? He's so dedicated to this diet that he's eating that he will bring his own sauerkraut to a restaurant.
They go on saying that that he asks her to carry his sauerkraut in her purse.
Yes, in her Chanel.
In her Chanel. You know, toilet hates to see RFK Jr. coming.
100%. But also, have you ever seen people laugh so hard who clearly weren't having a good time?
No, that's actually there is a part where they're talking about purses where Katie Miller does this like fake mute laugh that is chilling. She goes,
totally.
And it's like
she can't get enough.
Have you ever had fun in your life when you weren't watching brown children being separated from their parents? Have you ever had fun in your life? I felt bad for Cheryl Hines by the end of the interview because I was like, I don't approve of her taste in men, but I really think she was like a talented comedic actress and like really good on Curb. And I'll always have like a place in my heart for that show.
She was great in Waitress.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
Yeah,
she married the wrong man.
She married the wrong man, and now she's like appearing on. Yesterday I called Katie Miller Hausfrau Ricky Lake.
Yeah, Yes.
Yeah, but she's appearing on like MAGA media now, and it's just kind of like
sad. And she's not. And the whole reason she's trying to sell a book that comes out in a couple weeks.
And they barely talked
And
about the book.
Barely. There was like a snippet because I think that this felt like it was recorded way before. There was something about how they mentioned the book that it feels like this was maybe in the can long ago. But imagine that you're Cheryl Hines and like maybe they'll have her on The View, but she's abbreviated a lot of her ability to sell her book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very curious. Okay, we have one final honorable mention clip. Let's just take a listen.
You mentioned that Hollywood looks a certain way. Do you think it's them exporting their, I want to say, groupthink of values in a lot of these productions, right? They've been criticized for wokeism and trans and a lot of inappropriate images, especially for children recently. Do you think that's because it's this groupthink of everyone's in the same industry and we all think the same way and therefore it exports, or that's not even a conscious decision?
It's really hard for me to speak to that because I don't know. But I think, one of the things that Hollywood does well is sometimes they stay ahead of showing what could be, right? So we watch shows or films where the president of the United States is a woman. They're showing us what could be. Yeah, that could be. And here's a world in which that could happen, and this is what it looks like. So that's always exciting to me to see those ideas. I don't know about, the wokeism and things like that. It's hard to know. I don't know. I don't have a good answer.
No, you don't have a good answer.
You don't have a good answer. But here's my funny thing. I listened to it. I didn't watch the podcast. And so I am just now seeing that Katie Miller, this girl thinks she's called her daddy. She's got her slippers on and but her studio is really just the embodiment of like a live, laugh, love sign from TJ Maxx.
Yeah, she's such a like dark cloud of negativity. She is just her energy is so dark. And all she wants to do is talk, like asking the question that she asked Cheryl Hines was like trying to get her to talk shit about the entertainment industry. And Cheryl Hines was like, no, actually, I kind of like that there can be some idealism about like what people do with their creativity. But yeah, we got to because of woke, and she does think she's called her daddy, which is sad.
She does.
Which is sad. Hysteria is brought to you by IndaCloud. You ever wake up after a fun night and think, yeah, fun's canceled for today? That's me every morning, except I never have fun. IndaCloud is how you keep the vibe going without paying for it tomorrow. IndaCloud isn't just another cannabis brand. It's a fully legal online dispensary that's already moved over 10 million gummies, mountains of exotic flower, and enough pre-rolls to impress Snoop himself. Every product is tested in DEA-certified labs and shipped straight to your door. No sketchy dispensary runs, no guessing what's inside. It's federally legal THC made simple. That's why 50,000 customers already trust IndaCloud to keep their buzz hassle-free. If you've got like night anxiety, like me, where you wake up at 3, if anything wakes me up at like between 2 and 4 in the morning, I'm just not going to go back to sleep. Taking an IndaCloud gummy was a game changer. It tastes good. The high is manageable and good, and it allowed me to sleep through the night, which is a real achievement, especially when I feel like I never get a full night's sleep. If you're looking for better sleep, they've got a gummy for that. If you want a light social buzz without tipping into chaos, easy. You need something with a little more kick. That's where the Beast Mode collection comes in. Potent enough to impress seasoned pros, yet legal and predictable. And if flower's your thing, they do $70 ounces all year round. That's 28 grams if you're curious. No flash sale, no gimmicks, just an actually good deal. Whatever your vibe is, from quiet porch nights, book in hand afternoons, or weekend hang with friends, IndaCloud's got a match that's tested, trusted, and delivered right to your door. Whether you want better focus for that fall reset, deeper sleep as the days get shorter, or just a peaceful scroll before bed, this is how grown-ups take the edge off now. If you're 21 or older, go to indacloud.co. Use code HYSTERIA for 30% off your first order plus free shipping. That's indacloud.co, code HYSTERIA. 30% off, free shipping, and a better mood showing up right to your door. Take their quick little survey when you order to support the show, and thank IndaCloud for making October feel a little lighter. And as always, please enjoy responsibly. Huge thanks to IndaCloud for sponsoring today's episode. Hysteria is brought to you by Quince. Cooler days call for layers that last, and Quince is my go-to for quality essentials that feel cozy, look refined, and won't blow your budget. Think $50 Mongolian cashmere, premium denim that fits like a dream, and luxe outerwear you'll wear year after year. These are the pieces that will turn into your fall uniform. I love their cashmere. I love their lightweight cashmere long sleeve. They're great for layering. I get really like itchy, and I feel claustrophobic if my sweater is too heavy or made out of the wrong material. And Quince's cashmere really fits the bill. It keeps me warm, but I never feel like I want to like rip my clothes off because I feel like too constrained. Because Quince partners directly with top-tier ethical factories and cuts out the middlemen, they deliver luxury quality pieces at half the price of similar brands. It's the kind of wardrobe upgrade that feels smart, stylish, and effortless. Like I said, I love the cashmere. I really like their cotton sweaters. Their cotton sweaters are great for summer. Like a cool morning in the summer, pop on a cotton sweater. You're never going to like get sweaty in it. It breathes really well. It doesn't itch. But yeah, I just love everything that Quince has. Sometimes I'm on the website and I'm like, that seems crazy. I cannot believe that is that affordable. They also have really cute kids clothes, kids staples, some Oxford button downs, like little cashmere button down sweaters. The holidays are coming up. A lot of people like getting pictures taken, and Quince has great stuff for kids to wear and maybe get some sticky handprints on, and you won't freak out because it doesn't break the bank to buy it and it's washable. Find your fall staples at Quince. Go to quince.com/hysteriapod for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/hysteriapod to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/hysteriapod. One more thing. That was very petty and also very sanity inducing for me. I don't ever want to listen to that show again. It's like,
I enjoyed it.
It's not even like, okay, this next person that we're going to talk about, I can give this, it's not even a hate watch. It's like an LOL watch.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, because I don't hate this person, but I do find their antics amusing and not in the way that they intend them to be.
Right.
And this, I can watch this next person's content, show, whatever, and be like entertained. I'm like, I'm going to put this on, put a fuzzy blanket on top of me, or I'm going to sit on the floor and I'm going to sort socks and I'm going to like be entertained. You know, I don't feel like pain. I don't feel like scratching in my brain. Meghan Markle, her holiday gift collection has come out. Alyssa, you know what? I'm just going to see if there's anything. So the URL to see her holiday gift collection is as ever.
You can't not see a sever.
A sever. It looks like a sever, like she severed. Anyway, as ever, because the collection is called As Ever. And once again, Meghan is coasting on her incredible handwriting for
great calligraphy.
Incredible calligraphy. Alyssa, I was, just trying to get some holiday gift ideas. I know that it's like not quite Halloween yet, but I really like to knock my list out before mid-November because then it just gets too crazy. So I'm just going to run a few things by. I'll surprise you, but I just want to run a few things by you to see if you would be interested. There's a signature fruit spread gift set with raspberry, orange marmalade, and strawberry for $42. Mm-hmm. You know what? You can buy a collection of honey from the bees that she was scared of in season 1 of her show.
Oh.
At $62.
Okay.
Or a candle that smells like Moroccan mint, cardamom, and tea leaves. $64.
It all just sounds so boring.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, and like, here's the thing. I make jam, and when I sell my jam, it's not cheap because I make every bit of it myself, and I don't get wholesale fruit or anything like that. So, like, I'm not going to, like, shit on her prices for her jam because my jam is not cheap.
Yeah, okay.
But I make it.
They're not, it's apples to oranges here. It's apples to marmalade here.
It is. And I just feel like she could do, I feel like she's just not being served by the people around her. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
I just feel like if she's going to launch a brand, it could just be better.
Yeah. It sure
You know? Or like she does like, I think it just should be a little bit more fringe. Or I guess fringe isn't exactly the word, but like you watch the show. It's clear she's got a passion for calligraphy. Where's the calligraphy set?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Thank you. A calligraphy set would be amazing.
Make it like, I don't believe she gives a shit about any of these products. And they're probably mass produced. So it's not like if she wanted to do it and she's like, here's my real kitchen and here's how I really make the jam, it all just feels like a veneer. And I feel like the one thing that we get, she loves flower arranging, she loves her calligraphy. Let's do that. Or for the candle, she made candles on the show. Why not sell something akin to what she made? Like, I showed you how to make this on my show, but if you want to gift it, here it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just feel like she's surrounded by people who are just trying to make money and don't care that she's put this all on her personal brand, and they're not doing right by her quote unquote brand, I guess.
I would have loved it if she were selling a bag of Trader Joe's pretzels full of peanut butter for
with
$45.
The cellophane and ribbon.
Yes, $45.
And she's like, as seen on the show, you know?
I think as seen on the show would have been a little bit better. But yeah, this is, you can buy jam from here or whatever.
Or like, you know what? She's had so many famous people on it. Get 3 of them. Get David Chang to do a collaboration. Here's like, as seen on our show. Here's how you could make these, the ramen noodles or whatever. So, I mean, clearly I watched the show. So I just feel like she should call us because like, I just feel like we could help her.
She might be mad.
Better.
She might be mad if she calls us. I don't like when people call me and they're mad.
They shouldn't, but we're not. We're trying to help her.
Okay.
We're not being mean. We're
being nice. If Katie Miller called us, we'd be like, girl, go
just
eat shit and live.
Stop
Katie.
trying to make fetch happen.
Yeah, eat shit and live. But Meghan Markle, I'm like, yeah, I think that's fair. If Meghan Markle called me and she wasn't yelling, I would help her.
We'd be like, let's just sit down. All right?
We
can relaunch at Valentine's Day, have a whole new thing.
And welcome back. You're listening to Hysteria, the podcast that really, truly wants to know your big 3. Seriously, I had like a 20-minute conversation in the office yesterday with 2 of my coworkers about our various big 3s and the big 3s of people we dated and the big 3s of people we were related to. And it was really, really interesting. Speaking of the big 3, we are welcoming back New York Times bestseller, podcaster, and our favorite astrologer to help give us some insights into Scorpio season and just the general chaos of the cosmic clock. Chani Nicholas, welcome back to Hysteria.
Thank you so much for having me. It's good to be here.
Okay, so let's just get right into it.
Okay.
There has been some pretty interesting astrology in 2025.
Yes.
Can you talk? Yes.
Yes.
Can you talk about major changes that have happened in the skies? How rare are these changes, and what historical events have occurred during similar transits to the ones we've seen this year?
Okay, so 2025 is home to what we called last year as game-changing astrology. What happens this year plants a seed for like decades to come. There were so many major astrological significations happening this year and all back to back that it was kind of like I have never been alive when something like this happened, which is to say all of these really slow moving planets changed signs within a couple months of each other. So that's really rare. It's really rare to have a slow-moving planet change signs in a year because Pluto can spend like up to 20-ish years in a sign. So when it changes signs, it's a big deal. And Uranus spends 7 years in a sign. So when it changes signs, and Neptune spends like about 15 years in a sign. So the fact that Neptune, Uranus, Saturn spends 2.5 years in a sign, so it's not as odd, but that it also changed signs all within a couple of months of each other. And then Pluto had just changed signs as well. So we have all the other outer planets having entered into new signs, which means that we're in a new era, right? And so I'm sorry to say this, I said this last year before I knew it was going to happen, but whatever happens this year is a sign of things to come. So we know that the fights that we're in now, we're in them. We need to think about how do we stay in this how do we think 15 years ahead? Like we can't just think of like this year and if we can make it to for the next 4 years, or now it's like 3 and a bit. We need to think about longer term strategies. And I would say that if I wasn't an astrologer, I would say like I don't think we think long term enough. Like we really do need to think about the next 100 years, because I think people that overturned Roe v. Wade were thinking about this for 50. And they never gave up and they never relented. And we need to have that kind of resilience. And when I look at the astrology, I'm like, okay, everything that happened this year is a planting of a seed that will continue to unfold for 7 to like almost 20 years, depending on the planet that we're talking about. That and the ways in which the planets move back into the specific signs they moved back into has very eerie correlations with things that you have heard people talk about in the media and online all year. So one of the things that is kind of wild is that Pluto has moved back into Aquarius. Pluto will only be in Aquarius once every about 250 years. So the last time it was in Aquarius, we had the Haitian Revolution, the French Revolution, and the American Revolution. So, and we had also an industrial revolution. So if you think about AI as our next industrial revolution, if you think about the ways in which we've been speaking about at least the American Revolution, and also if you've looked at France at all over the past, especially like couple years, Pluto's been in and out of Aquarius since 2023 of March, which is also when ChatGPT really like came into our phones and came into our life over the last 2 years. And that's very much a Pluto in Aquarius kind of signature. It's now firmly in Aquarius as of November of 2024. So 2025 is the first time we're just like fully living into it, and we're just in like robot dystopia, Sam Altman's universe, kind of like, oh my God, what are we going to do with this, right? And we're also starting to see the backlash of AI and like what kind of environmental devastation it might wreak, and like also personal and soulful and like with our children and all of that. But when you think about the signification of those revolutions, of there being an amassment of power with an elite and then an uprising of people, you know, each revolution is different, but there's that signature, especially the French Revolution, like the let them eat cake thing, and how that has really come back into conscious awareness. The last time Neptune was in Aries, Neptune just moved back into Aries, was the Civil War in this country. And I don't know if you've heard people talking about a civil war, like, but you know, civil war this, civil war that in this country now. It's kind of eerie. And the KKK was also founded the last time Neptune was in Aries. So if we've heard a lot, been speaking a lot about, you know, right-wing Christian nationalist, white supremacist violence, that's also very resonant. Not that it ever went anywhere, but it's just like that feeling of a swell of it, feeling of like, oh, are there Nazis in the White House kind of vibe. And then the last time that Uranus was in Gemini, it was the 40s. So we had...
Oh, what happened then?
I don't know. A couple things that also, again, we might be talking about again. But the thing to remember about the 40s is that there was a new world order. And I think with also the revolutions, there was, it was a different, it wasn't, we weren't as global back in the, you know, times of revolutions. But there's this feeling of, or there's this kind of sentiment of like, oh, allegiances are changing, allegiances are shifting. We don't know what it's going to look like. We are in the midst of a world order shift. And it really is about what we will make our priorities, I think, going forward. I said a lot.
Oh my God.
No, it was exactly what I was hoping you would say.
Shit.
Hysteria is brought to you by Fatty15. I have a story time, guys. The other day I woke up and I was achy all over my body, and I thought, that must be because I'm getting old and this happens sometimes. But no, I was actually getting sick. I really would like to not be in a place where I just assume that some mornings I will wake up and ache. This is the first year of my life where I just sometimes wake up and ache. It's time for me to turn back the clock. It's time for me to actually take aging seriously and try to make it as soft a landing as possible. I'm so excited to share with you guys C15 from Fatty 15, the first emerging essential fatty acid to be discovered in more than 90 years. It's an incredible scientific breakthrough to support our long-term health and wellness, and you guessed it, healthy aging. Fatty 15 co-founder Dr. Stephanie Van Watson discovered the benefits of C15 while working with the U.S. Navy to continually improve the health and welfare of aging dolphins. Ever seen a wrinkly dolphin? I haven't. Based on over 100 studies, we now know that C15 strengthens our cells and is a key healthy aging nutrient, which helps slow biological aging at the cellular level. In fact, when our cells don't have enough C15, they become fragile and age faster. And when our cells age, our bodies age too. I get it, because we're made of cells. This eventually led to studies finding the first new nutritional deficiency in 75 years called cellular fragility syndrome, caused by a lack of the C15. As many as 1 in 3 people worldwide may have low C15 levels and cellular fragility syndrome. Fatty 15 is a science-backed, award-winning, patented 100% pure C15 supplement. It's vegan-friendly, free of flavors, allergens, and preservatives. Fatty 15 has 3 times more cellular benefits than omega-3 or fish oil. By replenishing our cells with the crucial C15 nutrient, Fatty 15 effectively repairs cells, reverses aging at the cellular level, and restores our long-term health and wellness. Fatty 15 is clinically proven to raise C15 zero levels, resulting in lower cholesterol levels, healthier liver function, improved gut microbiome health, and improved red blood cell health within 3 months. Best of all, Fatty 15 comes in a gorgeous reusable glass and bamboo jar, and refills are shipped right to your door. I gotta say, the time of me having ugly plastic jars of supplements is over. I need something that looks cute and does the job, and Fatty 15 is it. Fatty 15 is on a mission to optimize your C15 levels to help support your long-term health and wellness, especially as you age. You can get an additional 15% off their 90-day subscription starter kit by going to fatty15.com/hysteria and using code hysteria at checkout. Hysteria is brought to you by Tavala. With our next sponsor, you'll avoid the daily 5 p.m. what's for dinner question once and for all. If you love great food but hate cooking or cleaning, listen up, because this just made my weeknight meals about 10 times easier. So here's something that I really love about Tavala. They have these like meals that you can order, and they're great. They're super easy. You just pop it in, especially as it gets to the busy time of year. It's so easy to just open your fridge, be like, I'm going to eat this. Put it in, push a button, it cooks. It's great. But I also love how Tavala cooks things that I never could get perfectly right in a regular oven. Tofu, a little baked tofu in a Tavala oven, incredible, great. Moist chicken breasts, or parts of the chicken that you normally like find to be rubbery if you cook them for like 1 minute too long. It's just easy. This podcast is sponsored by Tavala. Tavala is a smart meal delivery service, fresh meals and a smart oven that does the cooking for you. Tavala makes it so easy. It's so space age. It comes in a little like aluminum container, and it has a QR code, and you just scan it, and your oven is like, I know how to cook this, and it just does it. It like the exact time, the setting, the temperature, everything. There's no guesswork needed. You can save up to $300 on the Tavala Smart Oven when you order meals 6 or more times by heading to tavala.com/hysteria and using my code hysteria for a limited time. You know, the holidays are coming up, and a Tavala oven is a great gift for somebody who is maybe short on time or short on space or short on both, because it does a lot in a little amount of space. It boxes above its weight, and the meals are chef crafted, and they taste just like homemade meals that you'd make yourself without all the headache. Plus, all of the meals are made with fresh, real ingredients. For a limited time, because you are a Hysteria listener, you can save up to $300 on the Tavala Smart Oven when you order meals 6 or more times by heading to tavala.com/hysteria and use my code hysteria. That's up to $300 off when you head to tavala.com/hysteria and use promo code hysteria. One last time, that's TOVALA.com. And make sure you use my promo code hysteria for up to $300 off the Tavala Smart Oven. Remember, with Tavala, dinner is taken care of. We have some announcements for the class before we get into it. We're excited about this. Introducing solicited advice. We've done this before. We're going to do this as a regular thing. From now until the end of the year, the Hysteria advice column, Solicited Advice, is open for business to give our opinions on your pickles, predicaments, dilemmas, and quandaries. We can counsel you on anything from potluck etiquette around the holidays to political in-law problems to, wedding invite stuff, any social minefield, we can help you navigate it. We can't say we'll always be the most qualified to answer, but hey, we've been around for a while and you asked for it.
We'll have a good time doing it.
We'll have a good time doing it. You can email your questions to hysteria@crooked.com or post them on the Friends of the Pod Discord for a chance for your question to air on our segment. Again, we'll be doing this like throughout the holiday season. So ask away. There's a good chance that if you ask a question and it's a good question, we'll give you a good answer.
We're excited.
All right, CrookedCon. The countdown to CrookedCon begins T-minus 8 days. Don't forget to check out the full schedule. I'll be leading a panel called Cutting Through the Slop on how we grow a progressive media ecosystem with Tara McGowan, founder and publisher of Courier Newsroom, Stephanie Valencia, co-founder of Ekis and Latino Media Network, and Jessica Valenti, hey, friend of the show, and author of the hugely popular Abortion Everyday Substack.
And I'll be leading a panel called Flyover Country to talk about how we can fight our way back to power everywhere on the map. I'll be joined by Representative Sarah McBride, Representative Janelle Bynum, Anderson Clayton, chair of the North Carolina Democratic Party, and Ben Wickler, former chair of the Wisconsin Democrat Party.
We're also going to be doing a live taping of Hysteria,
We're so
which is going to be
excited.
so fun. Plus, Vote Save America will have an action hub that will come with its own set of programming, and there aren't many tickets left. Check out the full schedule. Get tickets now at crookedcon.com. We would love to see you there.
Love to see you. Chani, were there any periods of time this year that you were dreading based on astrology?
I really wasn't. Yes. On Inauguration Day, there was a signature. It's called a Pluto Kazemi. Pluto and the Sun were coming together for the first time in Aquarius. And before the election, colleagues of mine that have studied a lot of this too really got me thinking about this. And Nick Dagan Best, I believe, said, like, that's just too ominous of a mark. Pluto is the god of the underworld. It is like a feeling of a death and, can be rebirth and all of that. But Pluto in Aquarius, again, being that like feeling of like tech bros, amassing of power through tech. So to see all of the tech bro billionaires at the inauguration on a day when the Sun and Pluto were coming together to highlight these Pluto and Aquarius amassment of wealth, amassment of power, tech revolution themes was just like super, felt like a bummer. Felt like a Darth Vader gets inaugurated kind of vibe.
Shit.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
I was hoping it would be something else, but
No. Well, we got to know what we got to know.
Yeah, we got to know what we got to know. And also, like, thinking of it as seeds, like, what is that the seed for? Maybe it's the seed for something. Maybe it's a real ugly seed for something that grows into something that ends up being better for the world.
Well, it's very extreme, right? We're in this really extreme situation, so it does force the opposite and equal reaction to come forward. I think we know that like a certain type of like liberalism kind of puts us all to sleep in a way, or there's a lot of ways in which we've been very pacified, and in that pacificity, not in a political way, but just in like a lulled into sleep, a lot of damage has been done, and a lot of money has entered the system that should never have been allowed to have entered it, and it has wiped out the like moral standing of, in my opinion, the Democratic Party. And so, we're in this moment. I'm in New York City. We are about to have a very historic mayoral election. And that is the thing. It's like all of this destruction and all of this extremism will force something new to emerge. And so I don't want to have to go through the destruction. I don't want people to not be able to eat over the next God knows how many months. Like, I do not want the government to be shut down for these reasons. And yet, here we are, and it's got to like mobilize us into the answer, which is going to be a solution for working families nationwide.
So let's talk about your practices. What practices help you stay focused and calm when the world's upheaval feels overwhelming? And your work also like involves communicating that upheaval to people who want to hear it from you. Like, how do you stay calm and focused?
I have to like get up and make my daughter's lunch. Like I gotta pick her up from preschool in the middle of my workday. Like I gotta tend to a little human being that keeps me wildly grounded because her needs dominate. And honestly, like that is one of the greatest grounding factors that I've got. And then also when I am doing my work, I have to think about, like, no matter my anxiety, no matter my doom scrolling, no matter what I've just consumed or what I've just heard, or, you know, strategizing with activists or what have you, I have to then think, how can I focus us and mobilize us towards the thing we need to do next? And none of us are responsible for the whole, but each of us has a part in the work. And so my work also demands that I take a broader vision and be like, okay, what can I do with this, no matter what this is? How can I kind of like help us to prepare for this thing and remind us that we're in this together? And then, of course, with like hanging out with activists really helps me.
Yeah. Of course, yeah. People who are also trying to do something. You mentioned dropping your kid off at preschool. Do the other parents know that you're Chani Nicholas? And do they ask you questions about like astrology?
Currently, no, which is great. I did just
That
go
is
to
so funny.
I did just go to a school thing though, and one of the teachers was like, "I know who you are," and I was like, "Okay."
Oh my God!
That's so adorable.
But
does your daughter know? But have you given your daughter?
She's
like,
only
101?
she's not even 3 years old yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because mine is 3, and I explained to her what a Scorpio is because she's a
love it?
Scorpio. She was like, yes.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, she embodies like a Scorpio. She's got these like aquamarine eyes, and she's very emotional and intense. And I'm like,
love
she's
her.
so Scorpio. Yeah, but I
Powerful.
explained it to her, and she was like, when I picked her up from school, like at the end of the day, she was like, "Mom, I'm a Scorpion," and I was like, "Sure."
Let's talk about how to work with that medicine.
Chani, when does shit calm down? Will it ever calm down?
This is the thing, is like, it's up to us, right? It's up to us to build systems that work and that care for people. It's up to us to share resources. Otherwise, like, bad astrology will just be so hard. But if we lived in a world where everyone's needs were taken care of and we were living in accordance with the actual earth, that is a possibility, then like, quote unquote, bad astrology or hard astrology would be like, you know, just part of life. Like, yeah,
Right.
So the crops aren't as good this year, or like whatever the things are, but we have ways to help each other. We are focused on life sustaining practices. So it's really up to us. I will say that 2026, we continue into what we've seeded in 2025, astrologically speaking. And it does look like something very significant happens in February. And the significations of what February is bringing is about the erosion of something. But the last time this signature happened, the Berlin Wall fell. So it's like, what barriers, what boundaries, what false walls, or what walls that should never have been erected are getting eroded? And what of our systems that need to stay intact, at least for now, you know, can we shore up the boundary? Can we shore up that system? So I know that that's going to be very significant. And then there's eclipses in and around that. So I know that like February, March are going to be some kind of big months. In the Chani app, we have readings for every month of the year. And so those will be released in December. And so you can go through every month and see like how it unfolds. 2026 is like, there's like, it's kind of like a patchwork year, where this year was like huge change, like global change. We're shifting our allegiances. World, you know, powers are going to be moving around for sure. Next year, it's like there's hot spots in the year. Something really beautiful occurs in July, or very significantly harmonious occurs in July. So there's like different tones of the year. So it's kind of, it's harder to say like one statement about the year, but I do think something significant falls. And there is something really interesting I smile in a Scorpio way. There's something significant that's happening in August that is really bad for egotistical leaders. There is some kind of like fall of the big egomaniac kind of signature.
What
Terrific.
signature is that? Like what's happening?
We're going to
in
have
August?
South Node eclipses in Leo. And the South Node is a point of draining And eclipses are hard on leaders. And when they're in Leo is like the leader of the zodiac. When they're in Leo or when they're in Aries, they're hardest. And actually Trump, his first term, he had the first couple months of his, like that first year he was in office, there was a significant one like on his ascendant. And that was when Charlottesville happened.
Oh, geez.
And we were like, oh, literal white supremacist. Remember back then it was like, tiki torches. And now it's just like people
They're just
tattooed.
group chatting it. They're just talking about it openly.
Yeah. So, but this is like a different set of eclipses, but they are in Leo again. It's like a 9 years later we have this thing. So I am hoping that it takes people's egos down at least 20 notches. And I don't know how that will play out, but
as a Leo sun, that is concerning to me, but I'm willing to take one for the team.
you can think about it as like releasing something out into the world. Like you might have a big project that you start to be like, okay, I need to move this out into the world. And they're still very activating. I do want you specifically in August, though, to take care of your health and your body. Leos need to take care of the vessel, because there's like a sense of depletion or a sense of release or a sense of moving stuff out. So it all depends on what's kind of going on. But if you have a big project, you might start to,
Yeah. I'm going to give my ghost a stern talking to and be like, stay in.
Okay.
Stay in my skeleton. So, Chani, this isn't so much a question, but like, I've found during times of uncertainty that I turn equally to astrology and history, which, by the way, your app is like one of my very favorite apps. And when the readings come out for the year ahead, I listen to them when they come out, and then I listen to them as the year is going on. So I do like a prelim listen.
Yeah.
And then I listen as it's going on, and I found it to be very helpful. But I turn equally to history and astrology. I like to, I've been nerding out on things about history that I didn't really have interest in the past, because I feel like I'm trying to understand like patterns, like the patterns of humanity. Do you see a tie between studying astrology and studying history? Do you ever nerd out on history?
I mean, that's literally what astrology is. It's literally the study of cycles. So the longest standing scientific document is astrological in nature. So in ancient Babylon, they recorded the movements of the planets for 700 consecutive years. It's a 700-year document. And so they'd say like, oh, Mars is doing this, or this comet did this, and this is what happened on Earth. So it's literally the study of correlation and then patterns of correlation. Okay, the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, we had all of these revolutions. We had this technological revolution. It was called the Industrial Revolution, but is there something happening? So the last time Uranus was in Gemini, we had a world war and a new world order. Is there something happening with NATO? Like that was established then, and now is there something happening again here? So you look and see like, when did this happen in the past, and what were the things occurring on Earth? And is there like something that rhymes with that now? Sometimes it's the exact same thing or the exact same country, like France and the United States have become like these hotspots. France less so, obviously, but there's been a ton of activity there that has been similar to the last time it was there. And you want to say like, is it the same place? Is it the same thing? Or is it a similar theme, but maybe in a different kind of way? But you look at people's lives, like what happened when this person had a Saturn return? What happened the last time for me that Venus was retrograde through this part of my chart? And then you say like, is that happening again, but in a different way, in a modernized way? So it's literally, that's what astrology is looking at history and looking at the last time these planetary cycles repeated. And I think as humans, we're very calmed by pattern recognition. Sometimes we take it too far, so, sometimes we misread it or misunderstand it, but we are always looking for pattern recognition. And it is part of, I think, how we survive and stay alive too.
All right, final question, Chani. Is there a year, first of all, how far ahead do you look at like year-wise? And is there a year coming up that you're like, hell yes, I cannot wait for this year?
I pretty much am in the current year and in the next year. I don't have so much time on my hands that I can look like so many years out. And I also find like it's hard to know, like there are some astrological significations that are just good. And it is what it is. And then there are things that you're not quite sure like the shape they're going to take until you live through the beginning part of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen. Like, if I was looking at stuff 5 years ago, from 5 years from now, last year, I'd be like, well, I don't know who's going to be president. That's going to color a lot of this, how this rolls out. So I like to stay like I'm always in the future, and I always have to stay like 18 months ahead. But there's no year that's devoid of challenging things. But that's, you know, it's how we show up to it, and it's going to change in terms of like how we're moving from this moment to that future moment, about how bad or good it's going to be. But I do know that, like, you know, Uranus will be in Gemini for the next 7 years. It was in Gemini over the course of the 40s, right? So it's like we have this for the next 7 years. Pluto will be in Aquarius for like, you know, a couple decades. Like, we have these forces that are just settling in. So we've gotten the mark of the beginning of it, and then we're like, okay, we're going to be working with this theme for the next many years to come.
All right. Well, on that note, Chani Nicholas, Chani, thank you so much. Thank you for your work. I'm a big fan. I really appreciate what you do, and thanks for being so generous with your time today.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
having
Chani.
me. It's always good to see you all.